Club Atletico de Madrid S.A.D. is a football club based in the city of Madrid, in Spain. Founded on April 26, 1903, it is one of the longest active clubs in Spain. It is the fifth team that has spent the most seasons in the first division. It has played in 89 of the 94 editions, being one of the 10 founding clubs of the competition and participants in the inaugural edition of 1929. Since 2016 it has occupied third place in the historical classification of Spanish football. They play their home matches at the Ciudad Metropolitano Stadium, with capacity for 70,460 spectators. Identified by its red and white colors, from which it received the nickname Raja Blancos or Colchoneros, it is one of the most successful Spanish clubs, with more than 30 national and international titles. With 11 league titles, it is the third most successful club in the competition. In the National Copa del Rey competition he has achieved 10 other titles, being a finalist in 9 more editions. In addition to the aforementioned 21 titles, the club has won 2 Spanish Super Cup titles, along with 3 other predecessor titles of this competition, the first of which is of disputed official status. At continental level, it is one of the 8 most successful European teams in UEFA competitions. It has played 19 editions of the European Cup/Champions League, reaching 3 runners-up finishes, 9 in the European Cup Winners' Cup, achieving 1 title and 2 runners-up, and 24 in the UEFA Cup/European League, achieving 3 titles. In addition, it has been proclaimed 3-time champion of the European Super Cup and champion of the Intercontinental Cup in 1975, making it one of the 31 clubs recognized by FIFA as world champions as of 2022. It occupies 9th place in the UEFA coefficient classification, and 6th in the performance classification in the last decade. Atletico de Madrid is one of the pioneers of women's sports in Spain, already achieving great national success in the 1930s, in sports such as tennis or hockey. As far as football is concerned, it founded its first women's team in 1989 and won its first division league in 1990, although that women's section, along with all the other multi-sports sections, men and women, that the club had, and among those that stood out for handball, disappeared. A few years later, the current women's club Atletico de Madrid was formed in 2001 and promoted to compete in the first division of Spain. It is one of the most successful women's clubs in the country, after winning a Spanish Super Cup, 2 Queen's Cups and 3 consecutive league championships, to which must be added that of the predecessor women's team. It has a men's subsidiary team that won a second division league cup and was runner-up in the second division, in addition to having a women's subsidiary team. It also has a grassroots football academy for both sexes, with numerous successes in the country. At an international level, it has been investing in football teams since 2014, in order to position the Atletico de Madrid brand on a global level, having thus invested, among others, in Atletico Kolkata from India, Club Atletico de San Luis from Mexico, or Atletico Ottawa from Canada. At a social level, it has 140,419 members, of which more than 60,000 are subscribers, 17 and 850 clubs, 150 of them outside Spain. In addition, it has more than 60 million followers on social networks in 2023 and is the 3rd club football club with the most supporters in Spain, according to the Statista survey in 2018. Furthermore, the entity is among the 10 clubs in the world with the largest social mass according to its largest shareholder. On a financial level, it occupies 11th place on the income list of European clubs, with an amount of €416.2 million per season. In addition, the entity is valued at an estimated €1.6 billion. In the early morning of April 25 to 26, 1903, Ramon de Arancibia y Lebrio, the brothers Ignacio and Ricardo de Gordas y Manso de Velasco, and Manuel de Goyra y Aldego, after the impact they had had on the Bahican student fans of Athletic Club residents in the capital. The victory of the Basque team against the Madrid Football Club in the recent cup final, together with other colleagues from the Madrid School of Mining Engineers, decided to found a branch team of the Bilbao club in the then number 25 of Col de la Cruz in Madrid, current number 21, which was called Athletic Club Madrid Branch. As for clothing, as in Bilbao, it would be a harlequin shirt, half white and half blue, and blue pants, like that of the Blackburn Rovers Football Club of England. The first playing field that the Madrid team used was the Campo del Retiro, and better known as Campo del Giro al Pichón of the Vallecas Ring Road, today Avenida de Menendez Pelayo. The 2 in May he played his first match among his 25 members to elucidate his first starting team. Both teams, from Madrid and Bilbao, could not face each other in official matches or participate in the same official competition, as they were considered the same club for these purposes. Athletic Club already competed by default in the first editions of the highest national competition, the Spanish Championship, today known as the Copa del Rey, making it impossible for it to do so twice with its Madrid team and with its Bilbao team, since the entity was only one. In this way, it was common for players from the Madrid branch to line up in the first editions played by the Basques. Thus, the 1904 Cup, won by the Bilbao club, had more players called up from the Madrid team than from the Bilbao team. That said, its status as a branch was peculiar, since the Madrid team had its own board of directors that was different from that of the Bilbao team from the moment of its constitution, which would make the Madrid team, legally, more similar to a corporate and/or sports subsidiary. The first president was Enrique Allende, who left office the same year, 1903, being replaced by Eduardo Villachet. Very problematic seasons followed, with dramatic episodes that included the murder of one of their players during a tour in Algiers at the hands of the police. Although it was once again regional runner-up in the 1928/29, 1930/31 and 1933/34 seasons, in the league its performance was poor, becoming the first team in history to be relegated to the second division. In the first edition of the first division there were no relegations by losing on the last day against Arenas, which together with a comeback by Europa in the final minutes of their match against Real Union meant that they finished the 1929/30 season in last position. Real Madrid fans cruelly mocked this relegation, paying out of their own pockets for an obituary, published in several national media, certifying the death of their greatest rival. Promotion would take 4 years. The first year of the club's history in the second division, the team finished third, mired in an alarming economic, sporting and social crisis and fearing its disappearance. Criticism broke out against the board, chaired by Luciano Urquijo, by the nickname the dictator, who had taken advantage of his mandate to withdraw the voting rights of the partners, a sample of presidentialism that half a century later would be compared to that of Jesús Gil, under whose mandate they would also be relegated to the second division. At the end of November 1931, Urquijo resigned and was succeeded by a new board of directors, chaired by Rafael González Iglesias, in which old and new members, including players, had an equal place. Regarding these new members, it is necessary to emphasize that in that same year, 1931, the last great Madrid champion club of the amateur era disappeared, which survived along with the Whites and Red and Whites as the third amateur club in the capital, the Racing Club of Madrid. As had happened after the extinction of other Madrid clubs in the past, the fans of the recently defunct Red and Black Club, with a markedly anti-Madrid character, took advantage of the reconstruction that Athletic de Madrid was experiencing to join en masse as new Red and White members. In January 1947 the club was renamed Club Atletico de Madrid, also adopting the new shield, similar to the one used in 1917. The club's first official match under the new name, played on January 6, 1947, corresponded to the defeat by 3-1 against Sabadell, played at the Metropolitan Stadium. His first season under that name, 1946/47, ended with a painful third place, losing the lead by losing the derby on the last day, being beaten by his former player Prudent, signed a few years earlier by the Merengue club. The following season the Rojiblancos would gain an important revenge, in what was the biggest victory until then in a derby against Real Madrid 5-0, a match also remembered for being the first in which numbers were worn in a football match. In Spain, conversion into SAD. The promulgation in Spain of Law 10/1990, of October 15, on sports, required that professional football clubs, those that played in the first and second division, with the exceptions of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Athletic and Osasuna, that they were exempt from that obligation because they did not have losses at that time. The decision that, come 2021, A well-known ruling from the CJDU would confirm that it meant obtaining illegal tax aid from the state for clubs to cease being civil companies and to be formed as sports joint stock companies, a new type of public limited company that said law was creating. In accordance with the transitional regime established prior to June 30, 1992, the members of Atletico had to deposit the minimum capital of the club, which had been established in the amount of 2,060,309,000 pesetas for the purposes of that conversion into SAD. Should the partners not be able to meet that disbursement, Atletico would be relegated to Second Division B. The partners were not able to disburse the total of that amount, but at the stroke of midnight on June 30th, Jesús Gil and Enrique Cerezo confirmed that they had obtained 2 bank loans of 1,300 and 650 million pesetas, with which they covered and subscribed the outstanding amount. In this way, on July 1, 1992, the club was renamed Club Atletico de Madrid, SAD, after the formation of that SAD, of which Jesús Gil became the largest shareholder and of which he would continue to serve as president. As if evident, with the exception of those who were able to subscribe to some share in the conversion process, the majority of the club's members, until then participants of the former civil society, became mere subscribers of the new company, although for commercial reasons they were continued calling them subscribed members. This would lead to the 1995/96 season, First League with 22 teams, one of the most important for the club, since for the first time in its history it would obtain the League and Copa del Rey double in the same season. The impact of this success was greater because of the unexpected. The team was made up of practically the same players who were on the verge of being relegated to the second division the previous season, with the exception of the signings that the new coach, Radamir Antic, would request. On April 10, 1996, the team beat FC Barcelona 1-0 at the Roda Stadium, with a goal scored with a header by the Serbian Pantic from a pass from full-back Delphi Jelly, becoming champion of the Copa del Rey for the 9th time in its history. On May 25, 1996, Atletico won the title of champion of the First Division of Spain, also for the 9th time, to the detriment of its pursuer Valencia CF, by defeating Albacete Balompié at the Vicente Calderón by 2-0, goals from Simeone and Kiko. The era of Colismo. The former Argentine player Diego El Cholo Simeone accepted the position of coach after that dismissal, accompanied by the also former player Mono Burgos as second. He was officially presented on December 27, 2011, and in his first press conference he stated, "I want an aggressive, strong, brave, counter-punching and fast team. That's what we athletic people always fell in love with. We are going in search of what our history was after the aforementioned elimination in the Cup against a team that played in Second B and in 11th place in the league, with barely 60,000 members, the debt of €200 million with the treasury, and finding itself with Atletico in 23rd place in the UEFA ranking. The future prospects for the club were not very promising. Simeone did not shy away from the challenge, knowing he was predestined, as a fan of the team, to coach Atletico, and with match by match as his motto, along with other equally popularized reflections. Barely 5 years later, having already become the second coach with the most appearances in the club's history, only behind Luis Aragon's 100,000 members had been exceeded, the debt with the treasury did not exist, although it did with other creditors, and they would climb 22 places in the aforementioned ranking, establishing at a sporting level their aforementioned playing philosophy, which would be internationally praised. This change of direction began to take shape in that first half season with Simeone at the head of the team. In the league, the situation was redirected and Atletico finished 5th. But it would be at the European level where the greatest joy would occur, by establishing the record that would culminate in the following season, when on November 8, 2012 they suffered a defeat against Académica de Coimbra, since they beat Udinese on November 1, 2011. Calcium. Atletico managed to chain 16 consecutive victories in European competitions, surpassing the 11 achieved by Ajax Amsterdam in 1987-88 and by Club Barcelona in the 2002-03 season. As part of that streak, a new title was won. In the 2011-12 Europa League, the Madrid team eliminated Lazio, Besiktas, Hannover 96 and Valencia. Thus, the red and white team reached its third European final in the last 3 years, played on May 9, 2012. That was the Arena Națională in Bucharest in Romania, against Athletic Club The achievement deserved special praise considering that, after the reconstruction of the team, only 7 players from the squad had been part of the team that won the competition just 2 years ago. Dominguez, Salvio the only ones who played in both finals, Pereira, Antonio Lopez, Thiago, Hazard Joe and Asuncao at the beginning of the 2014-15 season. As the current league champion, Atletico once again enjoyed a new official title, beating Real Madrid again, who came as Copa del Rey champion in the final of the Spanish Super Cup. Spain. The 1-1 draw at the Bernabeu goal for the Rojiblancos by Raúl Garcia and the 1-0 victory for Atletico goal by Mandu kick from a pass from Griezmann in the second leg played at the Calderón, marked the end of a streak of 15 years without victories in official matches against their classic rival playing at home.